Coming up on this week's show, we're off to the dentist to learn about the impact that sugar has on our oral health. After the break, we'll be visiting National Learning Network to find out more about the excellent range of training courses that they offer. And to finish the show, we'll be at the Ocean to City, Ireland's premier long-distance rowing race. But first, we're off to the Cork Kerry Food Forum. Hello and welcome to Cork County Matters, the weekly show that brings you news and stories from Cork City and County. The agri-food and drink sector is worth $10.8 billion to the Irish economy and supplies more than 230,000 jobs. With this in mind, we're off to the City Hall for the Cork Kerry Food Forum to learn more about food, business and training. This two-day event features one of the largest artisan food markets in Ireland and is supported by a partnership of local enterprise offices, city councils, county councils, SuperValu and Bord Bia. With 5,000 people expected to attend the free event, we arrived early to find out more about the forum as well as the Food Academy.
Here today, Judy, is a celebration of the best Cork and Kerry food producers in the area. And it's a public event where we're hoping that we'll have 5,000 people here today and 5,000 people here again tomorrow to experience what the best of Cork and Kerry food producers have to offer and to help people, inspire them to cook with these ingredients when they're cooking at home. It highlights when you work in partnership with stakeholders such as SuperValu, the local enterprise office and Bord Bia, again with the small producers, and invest that time in it. The public come to visit and obviously are inspired again to shop in SuperValu, help small producers grow, and again it's just all about helping the local economy. If you shop in SuperValu, for every euro you spend, almost 50 cents, almost half, it's 45 cents, is reinvested back into that local economy, whereas only 20% in a multinational competitor. The Food Academy was set up originally 3 years ago with SuperValu, Bord Bia and the local enterprise office, and we realised there was a gap in the market to help small producers consistently and sustainably across all the 26 counties. So we work together to develop a programme which gives them a foundation level in terms of understanding what they need to do to get their product on shelf. And we help them then, as part of that, in terms of making sure they have their packaging, their commercials and their consumer offers right, so that people at home can go and see and connect with their product and with their story and buy their product in SuperValu. Well, over 600 producers have gone through the Food Academy at the moment, and of that 300 are now live in store, and that's helping to create over 1,000 jobs and will deliver this year €25 million in sales. We are looking for something different and better to inspire the consumer to shop and to buy your product. If you can put a different twist to it that you think will help the consumer buy your product and just differentiates you from what's on shelf already, that's what we are looking for. Today is about health in terms of we're trying to inspire people to lead a healthy, and obviously with the Good Food Karma project we want to inspire people to cook at home. And people at home, if you have something that you think you have an idea that will lead to a healthier product, we'd love to hear from you.
One of the highlights of the Cork Kerry Food Forum was cooking demonstrations by the Happy Pear. Identical twin brothers David and Stephen Flynn started their food revolution in 2004 and they now employ over 50 people. They joined the Food Academy 3 years ago and we caught up with them to find out more.
I guess we started the Happy Pear to create a happier, healthier world. We grew up ourselves not eating at all a healthy diet, eating a kind of traditional Irish diet, and I guess I had no real idea of what we were interested in and what our passions were, and it was only through travelling that I found out, geez, I love food and I'm madly passionate about the vegetables and bringing community and cooking and this and health. SuperValu have been great to work with. I know initially when our little brother Dara, who kind of runs the farm and runs a lot of the distribution part, when he first started kind of dating SuperValu, it was like, what are you at there? That's a supermarket. They're the big guy. They're going to squeeze you.
That's like working for the man.
But SuperValu have been incredibly nurturing and supportive, and the Food Academy is really, really, I guess, a wonderful programme to be a part of, and big up SuperValu.
We took a trip around to meet some of the other Food Academy producers and bumped into Aisling, who joined the Food Academy earlier this year.
Myself and Louise, who own the company, we kind of started a bit of a fitness journey, and I'm a big massive ice cream fan, but I couldn't eat it anymore because it was full of fat. So I made it at home in my kitchen, and I brought it in and I said to Louise, look, we can eat this, and she was like, wait a second, we should make this. So that's where it all started. The company name is Au Naturel, and what we make is fresh fruit sorbets, but we don't use refined sugar, so we sweeten it with agave syrup, so it's a little bit more of a natural sugar. And today we're also, after launching, a dairy-free ice cream, so it's made with coconut milk instead of cream, so we have a vanilla and a chocolate. So we started with the Food Academy in February, so we're in about 30 super values at the moment in Cork, and it was an absolutely fantastic programme. It gives you kind of a really good rounded knowledge of how to supply for retail, so things like logistics, margins, how to sell to a retailer, and the other thing then is kind of giving the opportunity to get into store and actually get feedback from customers themselves. So it's been a fantastic journey and really thankful to Super Value for it.
The final stand that we wanted to learn more about was Taste Cork. We spoke to Joe Burke from the Enterprise Board to find out more.
The Taste Cork initiative was launched in Cork 3 weeks ago, and it's basically a regional brand for Cork County to develop food service, hospitality, restaurants and the small producers and the large producers for Cork County. And we hope that by launching the food strategy will give us a roadmap to develop the food sector in Cork for the next 5 years. It goes out to 2021. But it's an evolving document, so we're hoping that it will evolve over time with different input from the producers, from the food sector, that if there is things that we need to be proactively involved with, we will do it and we will change the strategy to suit that. And most importantly is that it's recognised now nationally that small areas are brilliant for local food produce, and to bring along it's low food miles to small restaurants and hotels, that they want to be able to get local food, and it's not always about food that comes from abroad. So we have very good producers here in Ireland that can do this.
Health has been at the forefront of this event, with an array of innovative and exciting products that satisfy the taste buds but still allow us to eat well. With this in mind, we're off to the dentist to learn about the effects that sugar has on our oral health. We were here with you a few weeks ago on a different subject, but we're back today now to talk about sugar. And I was really surprised to learn that Irish people are the 4th highest consumers of sugar in the world, with the average Irish person consuming 24 teaspoons of sugar a day.
Yes, I think that's about right. I think it's inbred in our culture. We don't deny ourselves anything. And you have to remember that in Ireland, sugar was rationed until 1956. And from then onwards, we seem to have taken to sugar, and we treat ourselves all the time to the point that we don't see sugar as a treat anymore. It's just part of our diet. And our overall consumption of sugar is made up of lots of hidden sugars, along with the white stuff that we put on our cornflakes in the morning. The hidden sugars that people are completely unaware of are the ingredients in the back of the bottles that we need to look at. A lot of people are shocked to hear that there's about 8.5 teaspoons of sugar in a can of fizzy drink. But they're even more shocked to realise that there's about 7.5 spoons of sugar in a little carton of apple juice or orange juice that you quite happily give to your child every day going to school. It's very bad for our overall health. That sugar goes straight to the liver and is converted to fat. And it down the road will cause all sorts of problems such as diabetes type 2. But from my point of view as a dentist, looking at people's mouths, and particularly very young children, are presenting to us with high amounts of decay, catastrophic levels of decay, to the point that we can't even fill these teeth or save these teeth. In 4-year-olds and 5-year-olds, we actually have to extract all of these teeth that are decayed. And it's all down to sugar. All decay is from sugar.
And in your experience now, what are some of the worst cases that you've seen?
I've seen a 2-year-old whose teeth were only probably in his head less than 12 months, with all his front teeth rotten from sugary drinks. So when you look at a child of that age, you cannot blame the fizzy drink companies. It was hidden sugars that he was drinking.
The government at the moment are talking about implementing a sugar tax. What do you think of this?
I'm a little bit conflicted about that. On the one hand, a sugar tax that is only going to be put on fizzy drinks. So I think it's too simplistic in outlook to say that let's tax the fizzy drinks and that'll stop the decay and that'll deal with it. It will only take care of a small part of the problem. The problem is multifactorial, and the problem is that we have sugar immersed in everything. For example, tomato ketchup is about 60% sugar. Jam is similarly very high in sugar. Baked beans, which people have quite frequently, they're very high in sugar. So we have it everywhere, so a sugar tax isn't quite going to solve that problem.
And I know now on labelling at the moment, they kind of put it in red if there's a lot of sugar. But again, it kind of gives you grams. It's really hard to understand. Would you be an advocate for even better labelling?
Well, as I get older, I would like to see bigger labels, because it's very hard to see that teeny weeny writing when you're in the supermarket at the back of the label. I would love to see a system where that manufacturers are forced to put a large label on the front of their product with a teaspoon icon. People understand teaspoons. We don't understand grams so easily. So if you saw that's, we say, a yogurt that you thought was healthy, and you were going to give your 2-year-old child, had 4 teaspoons of sugar, I think you would think twice about giving that to your child. There is no other reason. There, even people who haven't brilliantly mineralized teeth, if they have no sugar in their diet, they will not get decay. So this weak teeth or soft teeth, or my mother had bad teeth so I get bad teeth, that's all a myth. So what we have to do is look at our consumption of sugar throughout the day. So a teaspoon of sugar is about 5 grams of sugar. We're not supposed to be having more than 5 teaspoons a day. And the best way to go with that is that the whole family observes that. You can't have one rule for one and another rule for another. And if you start the children when they're quite young, that this is the rule in the house, it tends to work.
We hope that you enjoyed this half of the show. We'll be back very soon to learn about National Learning Network and to attend the Ocean to City race. Welcome back to Cork County Matters. National Learning Network is Ireland's largest non-government training organisation, providing a range of courses for people who need extra support to train, people who have had an accident, illness, injury or have a disability. NLN have over 5,000 students and 50 training centres across Ireland. So we're about to visit the 3 main centres in Cork to learn more about the courses and supports that they offer.
In Cork, National Learning Network have 3 main centres, 2 in the city, one at Hollyhill, which is across from Apple Computers, and one in Model Farm Road, and then another one here in Bantry. We also have 5 locations throughout the county where we run single courses. Our courses are free for adults who may have a health condition, injury, illness, learning difficulty, mental health difficulty or disability. They're designed to assist students to progress on to jobs or to further training and education or other options as might be appropriate for them. Our courses are, I suppose, broadly in 2 areas: employment-orientated courses and what I call more stepping stone foundation courses, which would deal a lot more with personal, social, health-related skills. The different courses that we have in the different centres are very broad and range across a wide spectrum. In Hollyhill, for example, we have a course called Computer Networks and IT Systems. We have catering, and we have office administration by blended learning. And what I mean by that is students are coming in 2 days a week to the training centre and 3 days at home, working themselves, self-directing their learning, supported by our instructor. In the Model Farm Road Centre, we have courses ranging from hospitality skills, office administration, sport and recreation, and we also have Fresh Start, which would be for people who have been doing something, maybe in employment or education, have had a setback in their life and are now looking for a new start or a fresh start. Here in Bantry, another course that they have is horticulture, which is a very popular course, as you can see from the setting here. Students learn a lot about growing, gardening, and as well as that, they supply produce to local businesses. Normally, about 8 out of 10 students completing our employment courses will progress on to either employment of some sort or progression to some further training, education, or as I said, maybe some other progression option. As well as gaining, in a lot of cases, skills for work, a big part of all of our programs is the building up of a person's confidence, equipping them, I suppose, to handle life's difficulties much better than that they may have beforehand. So you see people going out, and I suppose the difference for some people from the time they started to the time they finished is dramatic in some cases, and I suppose very rewarding for ourselves to see that change for some people, for sure.
NLN may have over 50 centres across Ireland, yet the supports they offer in each centre remains the same. We're about to visit the Model Farm Road Centre to meet with manager Owen Kelly to find out more about these supports.
National Learning Network provides or uses a person-centred approach to its learning. And by that I mean there are three parts to that. The first part is being responsive to the training needs of the student. We encourage our students to take place in their own plan. We're great believers in producing learning plans or training plans, and we invite the student to take a central part in creating that plan, so it's their plan, not our plan. The second part is providing a cooperative approach, and if I can use the example of a journey as describing the student's experience, we walk along that journey with the student every step of the way. In addition to that, we are great believers in student representation. So in every training centre, each student has access to supports from their peers in terms of student representative committees. NLN also has a Charter of Rights for students, and in that we're making a very basic promise around the quality of support services they will provide them, so we can be judged by a student on that we provide. And the third part is flexibility in the way we offer learning. Everyone learns differently. So our engagement with students can be a blend of one-to-one sessions, small group sessions and larger group sessions. If somebody is unsure about making a commitment to National Learning Network, we can offer the option of sampling our programs to help them make that decision. I'd like to think that we make a difference to the quality of their life. This can vary from a more valued social role in their community, where, for example, they may have been isolated at home quite a lot, and now they're actually actively involved in groups, associations, and the whole quality of life improves for them. For others, they might identify that they really need to add more skills, their CV is out of date, they need to add more skills or more qualification, and again, there's great satisfaction from the student's point of view in being able to move on, not only to get accredited training from us and getting an award at the end of the day, but also to qualify for higher level education. So in those kind of areas we can see where the satisfaction comes from. One gets great satisfaction from an ex-student coming back to you, telling you how well they're doing. Or in the case, I can tell you of ex-students who've come back to work for National Learning Network as trainers, as instructors. That's hugely satisfying as well, to see that happening, that those students who've gone through, identified that maybe their career was in the area of instruction, have gone away, got their training skills, got their experience and qualification, and have come back and are now giving the benefit of their own experience as students. In other words, they can say to the student, I was just like you, and here I am now on my journey, let me tell you what that journey was like. There's nothing better than a personal story, and that for me, when I see that happening, I think that's probably the best example of the effectiveness of our approach.
NLN provides supports not only for students, but also for employers through their employer-based training programme. So we met with an NLN student, employer and instructor to find out more about this.
So employer-based training is a training programme that's funded by the CETB. So basically what it entails is a student coming on board and getting 3 days work experience with a host employer that is suitable to their skills and their interests. Organic are a company here in Bantry that are great support to National Learning Network. They take in many of our students on work experience placements, and there's a variety of experience that can be got there in the different areas, from coffee shop to administration to the kitchen to working upstairs. We have to have a company like Organic that will take on people on work experience and are delighted to take them on and give them the opportunity to find their feet in a job that they mightn't have been in before, or a different work experience or placement they haven't been in before. It's just pure progress is when a person either goes on to further training and education or gets paid employment.
To say we had a position because we're developing our online business, and I have one staff member who works 3 days a week on that, and we could see that we were in a position to take somebody in, to both offer training and to be able to kind of develop our business at the same time, When a student's doing work experience, they offer a lot of support. So Claire comes in and, checks in with us and makes sure that the relationship is going well and that we're both happy. And also she asks us on a regular basis what further training and support they can offer, which is great because the job will develop. Sometimes at the beginning you don't know what direction it might go in. So you're not sure at the very start what that might be, but Claire keeps checking and making sure that, that we have the support we need to further the development, which is a fantastic asset to us, so it's very exciting to be working with her.
NLN has been completely different. It's a lot more relaxed, but you're still getting things done and learning things. I guess in comparison to school, in that you have a different relationship with the tutors that you have here, because you're all adults and you're all making decisions for yourselves. Before, I wasn't really doing much, and then Claire came up to me and said that she had this course, and when I joined it, I met like so many different people from all different backgrounds and made so many friends. And then starting work placement, meeting a completely different group of people altogether and making friends with them and being part of a community and a family in a way. It's just been absolutely fantastic. It's life-changing.
More information about National Learning Network can be found at nln.ie. And with their flexible approach and trial periods on offer, there's nothing to lose by getting in touch. Next up, we're off to Crosshaven for the Ocean to City. On Rossmore, or the Big Race, is Ireland's premier long-distance rowing race, attracting hundreds of participants annually. In its 12th year, it has grown from a race for traditional fixed-seat boats into an all-inclusive rowing event. With thousands of spectators each year, the race is a real flagship event for Cork Harbour, one of the largest natural harbours in the world. And it appeals to a wide range of rowers and paddlers from all over Ireland, England, Wales, the Netherlands, Portugal and the US. It includes races over 4 course distances, from the 28-kilometre ocean course to the 4-kilometre youth course, all finishing together to a warm welcome in Cork city centre. A record-breaking 600 participants were getting ready in Crosshaven for the 28-kilometre ocean course. But before we met with some of them, we wanted to find out more about the event from the festival director.
It is a marathon course, and on a day like today, which is beautiful but it's also hot, it presents everybody a challenge. And then yes, the elite then like to go and really try and eat the course up and finish first, and we wish them all the best of luck. And then the finish line, of course. You know, we'll have cheering crowds, we'll have people falling over the line tired, just waiting to get a lovely shower that we provide for them, get their boat craned out. I mean, how better could it be in life?
Next, it was time to meet with some of the different teams to check in on how they were feeling. And our first stop was with Naomh Kirky, Cork's Curragh Rowing Club and hosts for this race.
Oh, it's the biggest day for the traditional rowing, and I'd make that distinction. It's traditional rowers here. A lot of the other races that are elsewhere are shorter, more sprint races, whereas this, we'll say this is more like a marathon on the sea, and as you a different dynamic. It's an eclectic group of people, but all age groups can participate and enjoy it.
The only people that don't enjoy it are the people that come second because they didn't get first. Everybody else is just having a good time, you know.
I think we're here to have good crack, as you would say. It's just an enjoyable time. I mean, when we do our local regattas at home, we're much more competitive because we're with our teams from nearby villages and what have you. But here, we're just here to have a good time, and that's fine.
We like to row, and we like to go to all sorts of places. We have already rowed in Paris, Venice, Marseille, Nice, so we try to travel a little bit. It's our holidays.
Teams throughout the country competed strongly, with victories for Clare, Dublin, Kerry and Galway. Naomh Kirky did superbly to keep 8 titles leaside across the Curragh racing classes. And Portuguese crew Ginásio 1 took first Monkstown crew. Unfortunately, that's all we have time for in this week's show, but we'll be back next week with more stories from Cork. Thanks a million for watching, and we'll see you then.